It's 2 a.m. again. Your eyes are open, staring at the ceiling. Your thoughts won't stop racing, replaying what you said, what you didn't say, what could go wrong tomorrow. You tell yourself to stop thinking, but the more you try, the louder your mind becomes. You feel trapped in your own head. If this feels familiar, you're not alone. Anxiety and sleepless nights have become a silent plague. But the ancient Stoics faced their own chaos, wars, loss, uncertainty, and still managed to rest their minds in peace. How? Through timeless wisdom that teaches you how to live and how to let go. Before we begin, take a moment to like this video and subscribe to support the journey of spreading Stoic philosophy to those seeking calm in a restless world. Number 1. The Stoic understanding of control. Anxiety begins where control ends. Most of the things that steal your peace, people's opinions, tomorrow's outcomes, or the mistakes you've made, live outside your control. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." The Stoics understood that anxiety is not caused by events themselves, but by the way we choose to interpret them. When you learn to separate what you can change from what you cannot, peace begins to return. Think about how much energy is wasted on what-ifs. What if they don't like me? What if I fail? What if something bad happens? The Stoic doesn't suppress these thoughts. He observes them, then lets them pass. Like a man watching clouds drift across the sky, he knows they come and go, but the sky, his mind, remains untouched. You cannot stop thoughts from arising, but you can choose not to feed them. The next time anxiety keeps you up, whisper to yourself, "This is not within my control." If it's something you can act on, plan a solution for the morning. If it's not, let it go. This small act of surrender is not weakness, it's wisdom. You are reminding your mind that peace is not found in certainty, but in acceptance. Stoicism doesn't promise a life free from problems. It offers a way to face them without losing yourself. Once you see the limits of control clearly, you stop trying to control the uncontrollable, and that's when your heart begins to rest. Sleep becomes possible again, not because life becomes easier, but because your mind becomes quieter. Number 2, the Stoic approach to the present moment. Anxiety feeds on time. It thrives on the future and the past. But peace only lives in the present. Seneca said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." When you lose sleep, it's rarely because of what's happening right now. It's because your mind has traveled into worlds that don't exist. You replay mistakes or imagine disasters that never happened. The Stoic brings himself back to now. To live in the present is not to ignore the past or future. It's to give your energy to what actually exists. When your thoughts start to spiral, ask yourself, is this happening now? Most of the time, it's not. The mind creates suffering by dragging you into moments that are either gone or not yet here. A Stoic learns to interrupt that pattern by returning to the breath, to the feeling of being alive in this exact second. Try this. Before bed, close your eyes and take a slow breath. Feel the air enter your lungs. Notice the texture of the sheet beneath your hand, the weight of the blanket on your body. This is your moment, not yesterday, not tomorrow. Just this. It's enough. You are safe right now. The more you practice this awareness, the less grip anxiety has on you. The present moment is a shield. When you live in it, your fears lose their target. A Stoic night is not silent because there are no thoughts, but because those thoughts no longer have the power to pull you away from the peace that exists right here. Living in the present isn't an escape, it's a return. It's remembering that this moment is all that ever truly belongs to you. Number 3, the Stoic perspective on death and the illusion of urgency. Most of our anxiety comes from the illusion that we're running out of time, that we must do everything, achieve everything, and fix everything before it's too late. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily, you could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. This wasn't morbid, it was freeing. When you truly accept mortality, you stop being haunted by it. Death is not a thief, it's a teacher. It reminds you that time is limited, and that makes each moment sacred. When you understand this, the rush fades. You stop living like every problem is the end of the world. Instead, you begin to live with calm urgency. Not to panic, but to be present and purposeful. Think about it. Anxiety often stems from trying to control how much life you'll get. You worry about the future because you believe peace will come later. But there is no later, only now. The Stoics didn't fear death. They feared never truly living. When you lie awake worrying, remind yourself that life isn't measured by how many days you have, but by how deeply you live them. If this were your last night, would you want to spend it fighting your mind or being at peace with yourself? Acceptance of death brings a strange kind of calm. You stop grasping so tightly at everything and start appreciating what's in your hands. Sleep comes easier when you realize there's nothing to lose, because everything that truly matters is already within you. Number 4, the Stoic practice of letting go of desire and expectation. The Stoics taught that attachment breeds suffering. When you desire something too deeply, a person, an outcome, or control over how life unfolds, you become a prisoner to it. Epictetus said, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." He meant that true peace often looks like indifference to the world's chaos. Desire is not evil, but obsession is. You lose sleep not because of what you lack, but because you can't stop clinging to how things should be. The Stoic learns to want less, to prefer virtue over results, peace over pleasure, and simplicity over excess. This doesn't mean giving up on life. It means loosening your grip on it. When you let go of expectations, life begins to surprise you again. The friend who leaves, the job that ends, the plan that fails, they all become teachers, not punishments. You stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start asking, "What is this teaching me?" Try a Stoic bedtime reflection. Review your day not to judge yourself, but to release it. Say, "I did my best with what I had. The rest is not mine." Then breathe out the day. No regrets, no unfinished thoughts, just surrender. When you stop fighting for how things should be, your mind finally rests in what is. Sleep follows naturally, like a lake settling after a storm. Number 5, the Stoic strength in gratitude and perspective. Gratitude is one of the most overlooked Stoic practices. Marcus Aurelius began his meditations by listing the people and lessons he was grateful for, even in an empire filled with betrayal and war. Gratitude grounds a mind. It shifts your focus from what's missing to what's already enough. And that's the cure for anxiety. Enoughness. When you lie awake worrying, anxiety whispers, "Something's wrong. Something's missing." Gratitude replies, "Nothing's missing right now." The mind can't hold both gratitude and fear at the same time. By choosing gratitude, you quiet the noise. Each night, name 3 simple things you're thankful for. Not grand achievements, but ordinary moments, the sound of rain, a warm meal, a lesson learned. These small acts rewire your mind to see stability where it once saw chaos. The Stoic understands that peace isn't something you chase, it's something you notice. Every breath is a gift. Every sunrise, a reminder that life continues despite your worries. You begin to see that your problems are temporary, but your ability to stay calm is permanent. When you practice gratitude deeply, sleep becomes an act of trust. Trust that life will unfold as it should, trust that tomorrow will come, and trust that even if it doesn't, you live this day well. And that's all a Stoic ever needs. 6. The Stoic view on overthinking and inner dialogue. The mind is a powerful tool, but left unchecked, it becomes your greatest enemy. Overthinking is like running on a treadmill. You exert energy, but go nowhere. The Stoics understood that peace begins with mastery over your thoughts. Epictetus said, "It's not things that upset us, but our judgments about things." Most of what keeps you awake isn't reality. It's your commentary on reality. You're not tormented by what happened, but by what you tell yourself it means. Your mind is like a river. Thoughts flow endlessly. But anxiety begins when you jump into that river and try to stop the current. The Stoic doesn't fight the flow. He stands on the bank, observing without drowning. Overthinking loses its grip when you stop identifying with every thought that appears. You begin to realize that you are not your thoughts. You are the one who hears them. When you catch yourself spiraling late at night, pause and ask, is this thought useful? If not, let it drift away. You don't need to win an argument with your mind. Just stop showing up to it. Stoicism teaches mental detachment, not by force, but through awareness. The more you observe, the less you react. You will notice something powerful. Silence doesn't come from having no thoughts, but from no longer being owned by them. The Stoic's mind is not empty. It's still like a lake reflecting the moon, deep, calm, and unshaken. That's when rest returns naturally, because the mind that observes no longer fears what it sees. Number 7, the Stoic way of facing uncertainty. Anxiety often grows from the soil of uncertainty. You fear what might happen, what could go wrong, what the future might bring. But the Stoics saw uncertainty not as an enemy, but as life itself. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "There is a limit to the time assigned you, and if you don't use it to free yourself, it will be gone and will never return." Uncertainty reminds us that control is an illusion, that we are only visitors in each moment. When you resist uncertainty, you suffer twice, once from what might happen, and again from your resistance to not knowing. The Stoic trains himself to live with both feet planted in the present, even when tomorrow is unclear. He knows that worry doesn't protect him, it only exhausts him. The truth is, nothing in life is certain. Not your plans, not your relationships, not even your heartbeat. But instead of panicking, the Stoic finds peace in the acceptance of this fact. He doesn't demand certainty. He finds stability within himself. Before bed, try saying this to yourself. I don't need to know what will happen. I just need to meet it with strength when it comes. You will notice a calm confidence rising from within, a quiet faith that you can handle whatever comes your way. This is not blind optimism, it's Stoic preparation. The more you embrace uncertainty, the less anxious you become. You stop fearing the unknown because you've realized something profound. What's uncertain isn't always dangerous. It's often where growth hides. Number 8, the Stoic art of self-discipline and routine. Peace doesn't just happen, it's built. The Stoics lived by structure, morning reflections, daily duties, nightly reviews. They knew that a chaotic life breeds a chaotic mind. When you lack discipline, anxiety fills the gap. The Stoic uses discipline not to control life, but to anchor himself within it. Every small act of order, waking early, journaling, meditating, keeping promises, tells your mind, I am in command. Discipline doesn't mean perfection, it means consistency. When your life has rhythm, your mind has room to rest. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire, yet he began each day by writing reminders to himself. Not grand speeches, but quiet affirmations of control, gratitude, and humility. Try adopting a small Stoic evening routine. Reflect on your actions without judgment. Ask, what did I do well today? What can I improve tomorrow? This is not self-criticism, it's self-mastery. Each night becomes an opportunity to grow, not to regret. Your anxiety eases when your mind knows you have a plan. The Stoic sleeps peacefully not because his life is perfect, but because his habits make it stable. He understands that a disciplined day leads to a restful night, and that peace, earned through structure, feels deeper than any comfort money could buy. Number 9, the Stoic acceptance of pain and discomfort. We often chase comfort as if it were peace, but they are not the same. Comfort avoids pain, peace endures it. The Stoics taught that suffering is part of life's fabric, not its flaw. Seneca wrote, "A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials." When you accept this truth, you stop fighting reality, and your anxiety begins to dissolve. Pain, whether physical or emotional, is a message. It tells you that you are alive, that you're growing. The Stoic doesn't seek pain, but he doesn't flee from it either. He faces it calmly, knowing that what hurts often heals. When you accept discomfort as a companion, it stops feeling like an enemy. Think of anxiety as resistance. The more you resist pain, the more it multiplies. When you finally stop fighting and breathe through it, the fear begins to fade. You realize that most pain is temporary, but the strength you gain from it is not. Next time worry grips you, remind yourself, this too is training. Every sleepless night, every hard day, every disappointment, they're shaping you into something stronger, quieter, more grounded. That's the Stoic way. Not to escape the fire, but to become fireproof. True peace isn't the absence of discomfort. It's the ability to remain calm in its presence. And once you understand that, even the hardest nights lose their power to break you. Number 10. The Stoic path of living in alignment with nature. At the heart of Stoicism lies a simple truth. Peace comes from living in harmony with nature. Not just the trees or the stars, but your own nature as a human being. You are part of a greater order, a vast unfolding of life where everything has its place, even your struggles. Marcus Aurelius said, "Everything harmonizes with me, which is harmonious to thee, O universe." To the Stoic, nothing is random. Anxiety often comes from trying to fight this natural flow, demanding that life obey your plans, expecting things to move at your pace. But nature is patient. It teaches us to trust timing. Just as the seasons don't rush their change, you too can learn to move at the pace of life. When you align your mind with this truth, resistance melts into acceptance. Think of the way a river flows, steady, unstoppable, never hurried. Even when it meets a rock, it doesn't fight. It simply finds another way. That's the Stoic image of peace. When you live in this rhythm, anxiety fades because you no longer demand control over the current. You move with it. Try to end your day by reflecting on this harmony. Realize that the universe has carried you through another day, that you are part of something much larger than your worries. You were never meant to control the world, only your response to it. When you accept that life unfolds as it should, sleep becomes sacred again. You close your eyes, trusting that tomorrow will rise with its own wisdom. The Stoic doesn't beg for peace. He lives in a way that invites it. The Stoics knew that peace is not a gift from life. It's a practice, a discipline, a choice renewed each day. Anxiety will visit, but it doesn't have to stay. When you live by these timeless lessons, control what you can, accept what you can't, return to the present, and trust nature's flow, your mind will finally rest. Not because the world is silent, but because you've learned to be.